And okay. Oh, and is Robin Hunter? She should be on the call and should be let in.
All set, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Carol. I excuse my formality, folks.
We're going to give Melissa maybe 2 or 3 tonight where she says Madam Chair, then that's it. Okay, I see Robin is on. Okay, and we have other participants.
Would you like me to elevate them now, Carol, or should I wait until we call their agenda matters?
Just there, how many are there?
I do see Kyle McBurney. He's the applicant
Right.
for 26 Haven. And then I see Mike Savage, Danny Cook, and then Thier, Theer.
Don't know. Oh, Heer?
No, Theer.
Oh, could be Tom here. Interesting. Okay, so why don't we let them all in,
Okay.
and then I'll start the meeting.
So they'll all be promoted to panelists.
Okay. Is that it?
That is it. For some reason, the TH. It's not letting me promote the THER.
That's strange.
Oh,
Okay.
it said they declined to be promoted. So maybe
okay,
they're just
fine.
listening. Yep.
Okay. Very good, everyone. I'm Carol Lisbon, Chair of the Dover Planning Board, and I'm calling this meeting to order at 7:05 p.m. It's being held by Zoom via the guidance from the Commonwealth and the Governor, and it is being recorded. So the first thing we'll do is take a roll call vote. Val Lynn?
Here.
Katie Williams?
Here.
Bill Motley?
Here.
And of course, I'm here, Carol Lisbon. For those of you who aren't participating in a particular agenda item, we do request that you stay on mute, and we would appreciate that. So first item on the agenda is always public comments. This is an opportunity for residents of Dover to share a thought with the planning board that is not related to an item that's on tonight's agenda. So is there anybody there that has something to share that doesn't reflect an agenda item? Please either raise your hand or go off mute. I'm not seeing anybody. Melissa, do you see anybody?
I do not.
Okay, in that case, we're going to move to the body of the meeting. Item 2A. It is my absolute pleasure, and I would be jumping with joy if I wasn't going to go off camera, to introduce our new town planner, Melissa Santucci Rosie. Melissa has been with us. This is day 5. She's still here.
Yes.
And she has already made a huge difference. Jody and I had a chance last week to spend quite a bit of time with her, and she's been working with folks in the townhouse, and we could not be more pleased. And I hope that you will all find over the weeks and months and years ahead that you feel the same way. So Melissa, would you just like to say a few words and introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you so much, Carol. So good evening to the board members and those in attendance this evening at our planning board meeting. It's with great pleasure that I get to share a little bit about myself, as Carol noted, 1 week in. And so far, everybody that I've had an opportunity to talk with has been very welcoming. Always a little anxious starting a new job. I was at my former job for 22 years. So this is very new to me. But hit the ground running and looking to be a resource, not only for the planning board, but for the town of Dover and for the residents of Dover. So what do I bring to you all? I have about 25 years of planning experience working in 2 communities prior to Dover, with a background in not only planning board, but conservation commission, historic preservation, community preservation, staffing the Zoning Board of Appeals, and then on my previous role being the director of a very large department with all those disciplines, being at the forefront of housing issues. When I say I've worked on thousands of projects, I was going to say hundreds, and then I said it's well over 1,000 at this point. All different projects, small scale residential projects to very large commercial projects, retail, office, medical, comprehensive permit background, and I am also a huge advocate of public service as well, and have been a member of the Watertown Zoning Board of Appeals for about 23 years, and has served as chair for about a little over a decade, probably. Along with my experience, permitting, also multidisciplinary planning. I've had the opportunity to serve as the representative from the community of Braintree for several mayors. Participated in a lot of state organizations, including the Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is our transportation funding mechanism here in the Commonwealth, the Metropolitan Area Planning Council, both working with them on projects as well as being the town's representative to MAPC, and also most recently a designee on the Metro Mayor's Housing Task Force. So a lot of background, a lot of experience locally and at the state level, very well versed in the laws and regulations and codes that regulate what we do here locally, and hope to soon be an expert on Dover's bylaws. So I will end there. And again, looking forward to be a huge resource and available for any questions anybody might have. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. I know that there are very many folks in the townhouse who have had an opportunity to meet Melissa either in the last 4 or 5 days or during the interview process, and are absolutely as thrilled as we are to have somebody with this depth and breadth of experience come to the town of Dover. So thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Another change for fiscal year 26. I'd like to thank Dave Haviland, Selectman Dave Haviland, for being our liaison from the board for the past year. And as often the case, there's always a reshuffling around this time of year as the selectmen look at liaisons to all the various boards and committees that they oversee. So I'd like to welcome Chair Robin Hunter and a dear friend to be our liaison to the planning board this year. So welcome, Robin.
Thank you, Carol. I'm looking forward to it. This is the one committee I've never been the liaison to. So I am looking forward to attending these meetings and learning new things. And I am very much looking forward to working with Melissa. Melissa, thank you for that intro. I think you're going to be, I know you will be a huge asset to the town of Dover as we navigate all of the things we're trying to do and upgrading our processes. So I very much expect our paths to cross, and I look forward to working with you and the planning board.
Same.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we will go to item 2C, which is a site plan review for a garage at 26 Haven Street. I will turn this meeting agenda item over to Melissa.
Thank you, Carol. I will give a little introduction. I do want to note that we have the applicant also here with us, Mr. and Mrs. McBurney. I've been working with them over the last few days on just tightening up a couple things. What I'd like to do is share my screen. If everybody can just bear with me for a minute here. What I have available to show, hope everybody can see that, is the elevation documents. The McBurneys are here for a preliminary site plan review application. They have an existing garage that they're looking to demolish and replace that with a slightly larger garage with a 24, why the page just changed? There we go. 24, here shows the footprint, 24 wide by 30-foot deep garage. And they're also going to be adding a second floor for some office space that they need to accommodate their growing family. and they're going to be having some, here we can see the second floor on the left side of the screen, bathroom facilities, and then a little, I'll describe it as a wet bar kitchen area. If you can bear with me, I will get to the elevations to show the outside of the structure. They're looking to do a mansard style roof with some full shed dormers that will complement the existing structures. As you can see here in the elevation, the primary dwelling located on the property is a similar roof line. So this is really a nice opportunity to carry that design throughout the property for not only consistency, but to maintain that architectural design and level. We have detailed windows with 6/6 panel style doors. And as you can see, a nice sort of softened roof line with the 2 dormers on the sides. And then if I could get to the, we have here, just changing my screen, zooming in here, we can see the light black outline that I've just sort of traced is the former garage location. There was a small shed attached to the rear of that structure. Both of those are going to be demolished. And you can see in the red crosshatch, we have the new garage. Mirrored dimensions as shown on the architectural plans, 24 wide by 30 deep, with all the setbacks called off on this plan for compliance with the zoning bylaw dimensional table. And then a small little exhibit here as well, depicting the height to ensure that the second story doesn't exceed the 35-foot height limitation. And that pretty much concludes the presentation on what they're looking to do. Would you like to hear from the applicant?
So, Mr. and Mrs. McMurdy, do you have anything you'd like to add to help us make our decision?
Sure. First of all, thank you, everybody. Nice to see some familiar faces. And Melissa, that was a nice summary. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
For those who live on Haven or near Haven, if you ever look at this garage, it's a miracle it's still standing. It's when we first moved in about 3 years ago till the day we had to reinforce the wooden foundation because it was so waterlogged. We have holes in it. The doors are both ajar, one naturally, the other because I forgot I had my Thule on top of my car, so that was on me. But anyway, it's not aesthetically pleasing. And now with our third kid, here's Elliot right here, as we mount a charm offensive. I work from home almost entirely, and the third bedroom or the fourth bedroom rather is now going to go to her. So this is an opportunity that we talked about for a long time, just to revamp the garage, which was much needed, but also build an office which I get significant use out of, and certainly appreciate working from home and having that ability. To your point, Melissa, we're spending more to make sure that we keep the aesthetic with the house. So the before and after will be much more attractive product, and it'll really match the architectural design of the house that currently stands.
Thank you. And she's a cute, is she or he?
She.
She's a cutie.
Yeah, thank you. She's great. The other 2 boys are menaces, but she's great.
It switches, don't worry.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Kyle. So, planning board members, do you have any questions?
Kyle, hi, it's good to see you. I think this would be great. And just so there's no, I think you said this earlier, or Melissa did. There is no plumbing in the structure, is that correct?
Just electric. Yeah, just
okay,
electric.
Great. Right, and the height and everything, that's all consistent with the existing height of the structure, the house itself. So there's nothing abnormal about that as well. I think those were my main questions that I had.
Yeah, we wanted to keep the height reasonable because if we went any taller, it would just kind of look weird, or at least that's what our architect would think.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's not, I don't believe, as tall as the existing house either. It's
No.
closer to the height. It's more the height of like our, like an addition like just has a living room with high ceilings already, and the architect matched it to that height, so it's actually less than that existing house as well.
Got it.
Can I just chime in? I'm Danny Cook. I live next door at 30 Haven Street. Totally support this. I think it's a great idea. I definitely agree it will look better. I think it'll be a great asset to the McBurneys and be an improvement to the neighborhood. So hope it moves forward smoothly and efficiently from here.
Well, certainly
Thanks, Danny.
have an improvement to Haven Street that everybody agrees with.
I don't know what you're referring to, but that
I
sounds
can't
good.
imagine. Sorry, I just couldn't resist.
Yeah, exactly. This might be one project that actually moves through quite quickly
There
compared
you
to
go.
some of the others.
Any other questions or comments from planning board members?
Just for clarity, I think, Bill, did you just ask about plumbing? Because I thought there was a bathroom and a kitchenette. No?
Well, there's no current plumbing in the existing structure,
Oh,
just
got it. Okay,
electrical
sorry.
but
I
but
didn't catch that.
yeah.
Okay.
And then also it was funny just in terms of like, we had the fire department come out to, sign off for the demo saying that, that there's no asbestos or anything like that in it. And he was just like, God, this thing needs to be torn down. I was like, yes, that's why you're here. That is what we're hopefully doing.
Well, if our fire inspector says it's got to be torn down, then there we go. This makes it very easy. Any other questions or comments?
I just have one question. I looked at the design and it doesn't look like you're widening the driveway or anything like that. Is that correct? It's
Correct.
staying roughly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
the same.
Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you.
Anything else? No, in that case, Melissa, would you mind just stepping us through the decision?
I would love to. Let me get that up.
And then we'll take a vote.
Yep. So for everyone here, we have our standard decision. I have gave it a little of my special touch, cleaned it up a little bit. As you can see here, I have updated the plot plan that I received from the McBurneys that I had shown to the group earlier in the meeting. And I just referenced the original plan that was submitted because there was quite a few notes on that are in fact pertinent. Notes like the driveway won't be expanded, where we're going to have our erosion controls, tree protection, and those type of matters. We also included the elevations and the narrative, all important. We have our site plan review findings, which I have reviewed in detail and noted here. Some of the highlights that determine that we can make these, or the board can make these findings. In particular, the ones that stood out was the preservation of vegetation, and that there really took some time on the appearance of the garage to have some consistency there with the primary structure on the property. Noting also too, we always have our catch-all if they need to get a stormwater permit. I am not on 100% up to speed on those requirements yet. I did take a look at it. My first look is that they may not need one. Nonetheless, we default to the applicant to make that inquiry with the DPW prior to getting their building permit to determine whether or not they will be taking jurisdiction. So we have our basic findings, and then we get to the conditions and decision section of the decision. And we have some boilerplate conditions here. And then we also have the reference again to the stormwater bylaw. We included one for the Board of Health as well. And then lighting, which is one of our boilerplate conditions. And then again, as explained in the application and by the applicant this evening, there is no living space, quote, permit, I shouldn't say living space, no sleeping facilities in here, and this is not being permitted as an accessory dwelling unit. So we have that as condition 6 as well. And that's pretty much the summary, Chair.
Thank you. Any questions, Melissa, on this?
I do not have any questions. Nope. The
Okay,
questions I had were fully answered and responded to by the applicant.
wonderful. Thank you. And Melissa, thank you so much for jumping in. This has been in the office for a couple of weeks, and Melissa's just closed the whole thing up with some holes that were left in no time at all.
My
So,
pleasure.
I guess, Melissa, if you will read the motion, then we will then
Sure.
vote on it, okay?
So would you like me to read just the motion or?
Starting with conditions, and so after review and consideration. And then all the way
Okay.
through. Yep.
So after review and consideration of the preliminary site plan review application, the planning board is going to motion to approve the application and supporting materials referenced above in section 2 with the following conditions. 1, prior to the issuance of a building permit, minor modifications to the approved site plan and architectural drawings may be approved administratively by the planning board chair. Condition 2, upon completion of the project, future modifications to the structure or site shall be subject to compliance with the zoning bylaw and may require additional review and approval by the planning board. Condition 3, all lighting on site and the structure must not spill or glare onto adjoining property. Condition 4, the applicant shall file for and comply with any requirements and permits required by the Board of Health. Condition 5, the applicant shall file for and comply with all requirements pursuant to general bylaw, stormwater management and erosion controls, chapter 159, as required by the Department of Public Works. And condition 6, this accessory garage structure is not permitted to be used as an accessory dwelling unit. Any change in the permitted use as described above shall be subject to review and approval by the planning board pursuant to the zoning bylaw.
Thank you very much. Do I hear a second?
Second,
Okay, we will now take a roll call vote. Bill,
Yes.
Val,
yes.
Katie,
Yes.
and Carol, yes. Okay, well, thank you very much. We look
Excuse
forward
me,
to seeing-
Chair, who was
Mhm.
the second on that? I don't have the voices now.
Oh, sorry,
Pat.
Val.
Val, thank you so much.
Sure.
Okay, well, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing a beautiful new garage up on Haven Street.
That's the plan. Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful, thank you.
appreciate all
Have a
the
good
work.
evening.
That was
Okay.
a very cute baby, by the way. That
Yes, she
the
is.
charm
She
factor
is really cute.
highly effective.
So with that, we move on to town planner updates, agenda item number 3.
So
And-
thank you. I have just a quick one. I'm sure I'll have more in the future. And I've been talking to Carol about having sort of an ongoing project update list. So hopefully within the next few meetings, that will be a live document and something that we can begin to report from. So for right now, I am focused on the MBTA communities. And really preparing for the submission to the Board of Selectmen, which is going to take place tomorrow. I have prepared a letter. We have our draft bylaw, and I've spent some time preparing some maps and also a detailed description, including assessor references for Tillsdale Drive. We've been referring county court for the purposes of public understanding and discussion, but we want to fine tune that into something a little more concrete as we submit to the Board of Selectmen. So that has been priority, and that will be done and sent up tomorrow. In addition, I have put together my own sort of task list with about 20 or so tasks that are going to be getting the planning board ready for their public hearings. Well, first we have our all board meeting, then our public hearing, and then the big grand finale at our special town meeting. And that includes a variety of tasks, writing legal notices, proposing some language for review to address the comments that we received from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, media type, or I should say communications documents, and also keeping a running of timelines as we back into town meeting to make sure that we're following our governing statute, which is Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 48, Section 5, which directs both cities and towns how they need to pursue zoning amendments. So that's basically my sort of position for the next couple weeks. And then also, as a follow-up to the email that I sent out earlier, friendly reminder that we have our 9:15 backup planning board hearing for our MBTA communities. That somehow wasn't on our list of future meeting dates. We will get that updated. And then also in discussions with Carol, we sent out some information about having a backup for September 25th. And then also for friendly reminder, which seems to be common practice in every community now, to do the meeting of the planning board right before the special town meeting that will be held at the Dover Sherborne High School. So if it's okay, I'd like to see if the board members have had a chance to check their calendars for those dates that I sent out this morning, so we can confirm that we do, in fact. I have heard from Member Shu, as she isn't with us this evening. Those dates work for her. And if it works for the rest of the board members, we will make sure we have Zoom links and that those are added accordingly to the town calendar.
So the new one is September 25th. When we did our calendar year 2025, we just did every two weeks. It ends up that September 22nd, which would be our normal 2 week, is Rosh Hashanah. So we have to move that. And we need to make sure that we will have a quorum for the 25th as far as everybody's current knowledge of their schedule goes. So how does that look, Val, Katie, Bill?
That works for me.
Yeah, I'm good for the 15th, for right now.
And the 25th?
I'm sorry, I apologize. I meant the 25th.
Okay,
All these dates look good, and amazingly, they were already in my calendar. So, except for the 25th, so I'm good.
great. Katie, how are we doing?
Yeah, for the 15th and the 25th are fine.
Excellent.
Those are the only 2 dates we're concerned about, right? I might have some issues with the 8th, but I don't know yet. So far,
Okay.
everything looks fine.
Okay.
I also cannot make the 8th. My son is moving into college.
I can't believe it.
Yeah,
No.
We're launching the first one, so I need to be
Oh,
there.
Yes, you do. Just
Okay, well then I'll let you know sooner rather than later if I can't make the 8th. But
Right.
then if Jody makes it and everyone else, then it shouldn't be a problem.
yeah, so the 8th is very important because that's our public hearing date.
Yeah.
So it really will be the last opportunity for the public to, as a group at least, without individual calls to us, to hear about the plan. And the intent then is to take the presentation that was done at the info session, obviously update it to all the stuff that's happened recently, probably fine tune a little bit, bring it down. But it is a very important meeting that we have to have a quorum for. So, yep. Val, bring a couple of boxes of tissues.
I may be able to call in that evening, but I won't know until kind of like the last minute. So, but thank you. Yes.
Very good. So
So,
Melissa, we're good
Yeah,
to,
just to confirm, we have all 5 for the 15th, 25th, 29th. And Val is a no on the 8th, and Katie is a maybe, and will let us know as soon as possible.
Right now, just put me down for yes. I will let you know if there's an issue.
Okay.
And our,
excellent,
and our only meeting in August is on the 18th. Is that correct?
right, yep.
Okay.
So we could talk about the meeting of the 18th for a moment. So if you remember, we had we had a meeting with the COA as our first info session. Then we had 2 open to the wide public meetings, one in March, one in April. And then we had a special info session just for boards and committees. That was very poorly attended. So as part of the executive summary, which we're going to be doing in lieu of a blue book, it would be certainly beneficial, I think, if we could get the support of as many boards and committees as possible. To do that, they need to make sure that they're up to speed, and then have their own meetings to take votes, and get us those votes by the end of August, so that we have time to integrate it into the executive summary that will be drafted and that we intend to send out after the public hearing on September 8th. So there was an email that Mona had sent out on behalf of Robin as chair of the Board of Selectmen and Jody and I back in, I think it was June 2nd or so, just asking folks to attend on the 18th. I noticed the other day that there wasn't a board or committee that had scheduled a meeting for that night, because it would make sense for them, if they could get a quorum, to actually hold a meeting right after the session so they could actually take the vote. So we have another reminder email that will be going out. Mona's out this week, so it'll probably go out early next week, to remind all the board and committee members that the 18th is really important. You know, and I think, as we've talked about for the last 2 years, this is a all hands on deck situation for the town of Dover. And it's important for all boards and committees, even if they don't see themselves as being directly impacted. Certainly some of them have grants that might get impacted. But as volunteers in town government, there's sort of a civic responsibility to help the town on in their hour of need, which is the MBTA Communities Act. So we're hoping to get good attendance on August 18th. We're hoping that the various boards and committees will find a way to get a quorum and vote on this. It is the summer, we understand that. And we hope, of course, that they will vote to support. So that's the plan right now. A couple of other things about the MBTA while we're still on that. The Council on Aging and Park and Rec have been wonderful. They're including a save the date blurb in their newsletters in July and August and September. So that's been very, very appreciated. Melissa, Jody, and I will be working on a draft of the executive summary. And at a point where it's, somewhat intelligible, we'll get it out to all of you, and would really appreciate your input. You know, as you all know, when you get involved in something and you're so knee deep in something, it's hard to step back and take a perspective of somebody that doesn't have a clue what this thing is. So, fresh eyes, not only of you all, but maybe your spouses or friends or neighbors, just to get a sense of if you know nothing about the MBTA Communities Act and this executive summary gets in your mail and you open it up, does it really explain in 2 or 3 pages what you need to know to make an educated vote at the special town meeting? So stay tuned for that over the next 6 or 7 weeks before Labor Day. Melissa, would you mind just summarizing for the board what EOHLC said about our submission?
Sure. So the Commonwealth has come back with 2 comments. The first one is related to the earth removal requirements in the bylaw that are currently permitted by special permit. And they have noted that if a project comes in under the MBTA Communities Act bylaw, that you cannot in any way, shape, or form require any type of special permit. I have a solution to this. This was something that had come up in my former employment. It was a floodplain situation. I will be checking our bylaw too to see how floodplain work is permitted here. But I will be looking to add some additional text that very clearly exempts those sections in the bylaw from this particular overlay, and noting in the text that the earth removal and anything else if floodplain comes up, will be reviewed as part of the site plan review process. The second comment, which is kind of boilerplate, I think, they've got their boilerplate comments now too. Again, in discussions with fellow planners, they have cautioned the town of Dover that our site plan review criteria could lend to discretion. And in this particular form of application, in this particular quote, by right setting, there will be very little discretion when we're looking at this criteria. And if we, in any shape or form, think that we can flex some of it, they're giving us the heads up that that's going to be a non-starter. So that, again, I've seen in other communities. I got that comment back in my former life, and that is just a kind of a notice. I know other communities receive that as well. So in my opinion, those comments are very, very, very minor in nature, and I don't see any situation where we cannot address those and some very simple amendments to the current draft.
Did you get any comments, and I'm sorry if you said this, to the actual site that was proposed?
They are based on the compliance model that has been provided, that County Court, Tinsdale Drive is in fact acceptable.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, that's great news then.
Yep. Yes, very positive. I do want to, I've had a chance to commend Carol and Jody, but the work that has been done so far in Dover is very impressive and very outward, very transparent. The town's put a great deal of effort into communications, which I think definitely shows and hopefully will continue as we move towards special town meeting.
Wow, that's great. That's a
Great
huge
job,
hurdle.
Carol and Jody.
Yeah,
Well,
great
to
job.
all of us, a team, we were really, really pleased. First of all, they came back the first week of July. You know, they had 90 days. So this is gives us a full 2 months to amend it. I think also, Melissa, I believe I saw something from you today that the Attorney General is willing to take a look.
Yes, thank you, Carol. So I have already been in contact with counsel, Nina, and she had an inquiry from the Attorney General offering to also take a look at our bylaw. As we know, the process in a town requires post vote of town meeting for AG final approval of the text. So what I plan to do in conjunction with the chair is send the text with the edits that we're looking to include to address the comments from the state, as well as the map information that I have prepared. Essentially what we sent to the Board of Selectmen, so that we can get the ball rolling on that as well. I think if we are even in a position to say we've got preliminary sign-offs from anybody who cares about this at the state level, that's just another checkbox and another level of reassurance to the residents as we continue to move forward.
So all great news, all going well, and some of us are sleeping a lot better. Thank you, Melissa, for that. Anything else before I go to my updates? Nope. Okay. So a couple of things from the mundane to the less mundane. As we would expect when a new town planner comes in, especially one with Melissa's experience. As we've gone through like site plan review and a couple of other administrative things that have come up in the last couple of days, the question is always, oh, this is how you do it and why do you do it and so forth. So just to let you know, if you remember about a year or so ago, we changed our abutter notification process for site plan review, which we do out of a courtesy to the neighbors. It's not required by law, but we had been sending them a regular post. And then Jasmine suggested that we send it certified. So we switched to certified, which was taking a lot more time of Sue's time and of course was more expensive. And Melissa convinced us that there's no need to do certified, and it's actually more efficient for folks to do it US mail, so they don't have to go to the post office to pick something up that didn't get delivered. So we're going back to just regular mail for the abutter notifications.
Excuse me, Carol, if I could just add one thing.
Yep.
What I've also instituted here for a local checks and balance is we are adding a little sticker on the actual notice, and Sue will attest the date in which those was sent out, and we attach the abutters list. So if there's any questions about, oh, I didn't get it or whatever, we have that here in the office in the record for review.
Great.
Remind me, with this change, how far in advance are abutters being notified?
Well, these are courtesy notices, so they're not required under the general law. And it really, in this particular case, we had a holiday. The notices for tonight's meeting went out like last Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. Actually, let me check right here.
But basically, Bill, as soon as we know that it's going to be on the agenda,
Yes.
then the notice goes out.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so it does
So
vary.
it's- Yeah, we're making reasonable efforts here, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think in a, you know, I don't want to commit to anything, but, you know, we do have to get the abutters list from the assessor's office. But something that we're going to get more in a regular routine, and now we have some more bodies here. We're going to be requesting that list within a day or two of receipt of the application, so that we can get on that and provide the notice.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, preferably it should be, you know, more like a week and a half, 2 weeks, but sometimes we can't necessarily comply with that. Again, it is a courtesy notice. Any notices dictated by statute will be done in compliance with those statutes, which is 14 days for special permits.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Bill. Good one. Couple of other things. You know, a couple of weeks ago at our meeting, we talked about the priorities for the next couple of months. Obviously, the MBT Communities is number one. Number two is to support the efforts of all the land use departments in implementing the online permitting system that we've all been waiting for. I think I'd mentioned at the last meeting that the plan is to go live in January. So Sue has already gotten all the current applications and fee schedules and so forth over to the team that is working on implementing this. Jason Belmonte, who's our health agent and has worked with OpenGov in previous positions, is supporting the selectmen and Chris Costello and is sort of project managing this internally. Of course, that Melissa took a look at those applications, and as we know, they could use a little bit of update. So the implementation team wanted them now so they could start populating stuff. But we have the ability between now and probably, you know, Thanksgiving time or so to get them updated applications. So one of the things Melissa will be looking at is all that, and then that'll be coming before us sometime in the next couple of months, probably after MBTA, to update those. And I've also asked her to take this opportunity to take a look at our fee schedule, which we haven't looked at in a couple of years. Not only how our fee schedule relates to surrounding towns, but I'd really like to know how our fee schedule relates to all the other departments in the land use area in Dover. I think on a philosophical basis, the building inspector, the Concom, the Board of Health, the Planning Board, there should be some rationale to all of our application fees. So Melissa will be looking at that as well. The Housing Task Force, which Robin Hunter chairs, went out to bid for a second time with proposals, and last week we received 3, which is wonderful. Last time we went out, we only got 1 and it didn't even really meet all the requirements. So we are thrilled to have 3. And as Mike Blanchard announced at the selectmen's meeting the other night, Melissa will be very involved in working with the Housing Task Force in looking at those proposals and helping us make some recommendations on which ones to accept and going forward. So that's finally moving along, and we're absolutely thrilled with that. And the proposals are coming from good consulting firms. So we're just really, really pleased with the response to this one. For lack of a better house to put this in, over the years since Dover became a green community and has been applying for green community grants, the town planner has had the responsibility to do the annual report to the state as part of the Green Communities Act. And Melissa will be working with Carl Warnick, our building superintendent, on all that, because most of our green community grants have been capital budget building type grants. How that works going forward is just something that we'll address organizationally over the next year. But Melissa has offered to help get that done this fall. So thank you for that, Melissa.
My pleasure.
And the office will be closed this Wednesday and Thursday. Sue is on vacation this week, and Melissa had prior commitments way before she agreed to come to Dover. So Melissa will be in the office tomorrow, and then things will ramp back up next Monday, the 21st. I think you've all seen, I hope you've all seen the various communications about the new townhouse hours. So Monday, totally closed on Fridays. Monday through Thursday opens at 8 o'clock. And on Tuesdays, it stays open till 7. And hopefully that will give residents who are not in Dover 9 to 5 the opportunity to come to the townhouse and do whatever they need to do on Tuesday evenings. And of course, it gives a 3-day weekend to the staff. And that is all that I have. Does anybody else have any updates? Val, do you want anything to say about trees?
We will probably be meeting at the end of July. I'm hoping to work with Melissa on putting together the scope of services to send to MAPC for some work that they are going to help us with for the new tree bylaw that we're working to put together. And then other than that, I think that's kind of our big task, our big lift for the next several months is to get that ready for the town meeting in May.
Wonderful. Great, thank you.
Mhm.
That reminds me that Melissa, of course, is now attending the inspector meetings that are held. And there was a comment made at and taking notes. And there was a comment made at last week's meeting that communication of the stormwater bylaw and the tree clearing aspects of it desperately needs to get out to the community, as well as the contractors. So I think
Okay.
you had created a flyer or something that you'd given
Yep.
to Kevin.
To Kevin, so I will follow up with Kevin.
So I haven't seen
What
that.
happened to it.
I haven't seen that in the town newsletter or any kind of email blast or anything. So
Yeah, we had put one together, a draft for him. So let me follow up with Kevin.
I appreciate it. It's not really in our domain, but it involves trees.
Yep.
Thank you. And you know, Melissa will be keeping us informed of anything that she hears at these inspector meetings that has any tangential relationship to something that may be coming down the pike for the planning board. And in fact, there were 3 or 4 activities either with Board of Health or Conservation Commission where the question was, has the planning board seen a site plan review application yet? So it'll be a good way to sort of keep track and start to get a real feel for what we can anticipate coming through. And of course, all that type of stuff with the online permitting system will be so much easier anyway. But between now and then, Melissa will be keeping track of that. Has already worked with Janet Bowser at Concom on a particular situation that they've experienced. So very pleased with that. This is day 5, by the way, folks. This is amazing. Okay, new business agenda item number 5. That sort of ties to what I just said about the land use meeting. I think, Melissa, you had a couple listed, is that correct?
Yes, if I may. So we have nothing formally filed to date. There was 3 addresses that have come up in these meetings and follow up with Janet Bowser. 10 Claybrook, 59 Main, and 15 Farm. So I'm in discussions with 15 Farm now. They've sent me their plot plan. It's a pool replacement. I'm trying to get an idea of exactly what's there and what's changing. And again, not being 100% up to speed on the bylaw, I will be referencing what triggers the actual preliminary site plan review. If it's simply taking up some lining and putting in gunite or concrete, I haven't been up to speed yet to determine whether or not that constitutes and or triggers the preliminary site plan review. So on my list, getting the information that I need in order to properly evaluate, and we'll continue to update.
Thank you. And of course, that's a segue to a comment and a reminder that at the town meeting in May, we promised the citizens of Dover that we would do a thorough review of our very problematic site plan review bylaw. And certainly Melissa knows that that's the intent and that that's on her plan between now and the time that the warrant gets put together in January. And opportunities as she goes through the site plan review process with the applications that do come in, we'll just begin to highlight for her some of the issues that we already know exist there. Okay, so any other updates or comments by anybody before we go to the next agenda item? No, okay, so approval of minutes. You have in your package the minutes of our meeting of June 16th, which included 2 site plan reviews. I hope you've all had a chance to look at it. Are there any edits to make or changes? If not, I move to approve the minutes of June 16th as submitted. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Val. All in favor, roll call. Katie?
Yes, in favor?
Val?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And Carol, yes. Thank you. And then we go to the minutes of June 23rd was our quick meeting where we probably made a fantastic decision.
Approved.
To have Melissa join us as town planner. So I will make a motion to approve the minutes of June 23rd as submitted. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Val. And we'll do a roll call vote. Bill?
Yes.
Katie?
Yes.
Val?
Yes.
And of course, Carol, yes. Okay, that's it for the formal agenda. I will note that on the agenda, we have been keeping a list of upcoming meeting dates that you see at the bottom of the agenda. And it was actually looking at that made me realize that we had some calendar issues to discuss, which we have now done. So in the future, that list should be more complete. And I hope you all have it on your calendars. Anything else anybody would like to say or raise? Mike, have you been raising your hand? Do I see it going on and off?
Yes, I'm getting used to the technology. I apologize. It was my understanding that a consultant was going to be hired to review the bylaws as they pertain to site plan reviews. You sort of alluded to this just a few minutes ago, and it sounded like Melissa was going to do the review. Is that the case, or has a consultant been identified, or have requests been made, or what? Could you help me understand that a little better?
Sure, thank you, Mike, for that question. So as I said, Melissa's been here for 5 days. And she will be looking at our site plan review bylaw, using her experience. And if she feels that we need to bring in a consultant as well, in addition, of course, to town council, which will be helping us as well, then we will do so. I think it's a little bit early to make that decision. And we'll just have to see, having hired a town planner with the type of experience that Melissa has, it might change a little bit, the specifics of how we might approach the review, but I can assure you, Mike, that the planning board will be doing a completely thorough review of our site plan review, using all the expertise we need to get to a recommendation for next town meeting. Any other questions, Mike? You're on mute.
Yes, no questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, with that,
Carol,
everyone,
I have
yes.
one quick question. Has Park and Rec reached out to you about the rail trail public hearing? Do you have any knowledge about when that might be?
Let's see, I talked to Mark sometime in the last 4 to 6 weeks just for an update because I had missed the last meeting. And we talked about the fact that there is a lot on the town's plate and the town residents' plate, and that the most important thing right now for the town of Dover in its entirety,
Mhm.
the MBTA Communities Act.
Yeah, right.
So he was going to be taking that into account. And that's really all I know, I think, at this point.
Okay, I didn't know if they'd set a
Yeah,
date yet.
but that's also, 4 to 6 weeks old.
Okay.
But I certainly haven't seen anything from a communication standpoint.
No,
But I suppose if I did, then you would. Robin, yes.
and they don't have a final plan yet, and also moving into the community center has been delayed. So there's just a lot on everybody's plate still. I think the goal is still to try and do a special town meeting in the late fall, but at this juncture, I'm not sure if it's going to be feasible. There's a lot of things that have to happen all at once to get there.
Is there a date, Robin, for the community center or not yet?
Not yet. The idea was the goal is to have it open around Dover Days, and then to incorporate, public tours during Dover Days, and to expand Dover Days so that we actually block off, the street between the. So hopefully that, because I think it's a wonderful idea, and they were thinking about perhaps getting food trucks and, really sort of expanding Dover Days. So hopefully we can pull that off. But, there's just, you know what it's like to build a house. I mean, there's just like these little things that keep happening and just keep taking longer than anybody expects. And so.
Thank you.
Dover Days is September 13th.
Right, sorry. Right.
Yeah, that's okay. And, we had talked about doing some kind of hybrid meeting for a public hearing on September 8th, because there are individuals in town that really like to have an in-person public hearing. Doesn't sound as if that is going to be feasible.
Well, it's that week, so.
Yeah, so.
And everybody's counting, we're all counting on it, but.
Yeah, well, I think, there are very legal requirements for announcing a public hearing, right? They have to go out, Melissa, 2 weeks before. So we'll have to make a decision on the location and the type of public hearing we're going to have in late August.
And by then we should have a much clearer picture as to whether we could get a full permit by September 8th.
Yep.
They're getting closer and closer, but.
It's that final list, right?
That punch list.
Anything else for anybody? In that case, thank you all for coming tonight. Melissa, great first meeting. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
Can't wait to be doing this with you every 2 weeks for a long while to come. And have a good July into August. We'll see everybody on August 18th. Please, we all wear planning board hats that require that we are constantly in touch with our friends and neighbors and anybody we run into in the grocery store to remind them about attending the open hearing on September 8th and the town meeting on September 29th. And if you know that they're a board or committee member, to remind them that they should be attending the August 18th board and committee meeting.
And I know Mona will send something out next week, and I will remind people at every one of our meetings that that's coming up and that they can attend via Zoom. They don't even have to be in
Yep.
Dover.
That's right. Thank goodness.
Right. And we won't judge them if they have a glass of wine while they listen to it.
Or a coffee cup filled with wine.
Right, exactly. It's a judgment-free zone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your evening.
Have a good
Talk to
night.
you
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.